So I'm just gonna do like something kind of dramatic. So I just did like a quick little prep, a little clean and moisturize face. So you do want to make sure you're always cleaning and moisturizing your face prior to wearing makeup and after wearing makeup. For me, how I will start my brows, very simple. I usually go right underneath them. I like going in with a lighter brown color. Though my hair is pretty dark, I don't like super dark brows on myself because I feel like it takes away from the rest of your face. A lot of people don't realize that. It's super graceful, like your movements, like your hand should always be towards the end of your brush, the end of your pencil, the end of whatever. Because if you go straight in like you're drawing like this, girl, that's when the crazy stuff happens. That's when you walk around here. Okay. The color of my concealer, if you can see it here on my hand, it's literally a shade or two lighter than my skin, probably 2 shades lighter than the lightest parts of my skin. And that's what I use under my brow. And I actually use it under my full brow, but I will be going up under that with, or going on top of that with some eyeshadow. Prime my eyelids as well for eyeshadow. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of it. That's why I have so much on my hand. Just going to go back and put that on my lid. Because we do usually have a little discoloration on our eyelids. So any cream stuff, you always want to set them. So I'm setting my concealer, the little setting powder. This one is translucent, which means it has no color at all. And it's very mattifying. Okay. That way my eyes will be in place because I have very oily eyelids. I'm very oily in general. So I like to use stuff that's going to stay in place on my eyes. Next, I'm going with my transition shade. And this brush looks really dark right now. But the color is not dark at all. This is from Bobbi Brown. It's called Camel. It's literally like my favorite eyeshadow of all times because it's perfect. Like, it can be a great transition shade for my eyes, and I contour my face with this color as well. And I use it on a lot of clients all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a base to my lid, and a base is really just gonna help those colors pop. This base is almost like a skin tone. It's not my skin tone, but it's a skin tone. It's like a peach color, and it's from Anastasia, and it's called Honey, but it's waterproof cream. I'm gonna be using this baby. She dirty already because I love it. I love this palette so much. So it's our editorial Sephora Pro palette. It's freaking amazing. Get all of your life. I'm using it as my crease color. What I'm going to do is use a very good, it's like a tapered blending brush. As you can see, it goes down to a small taper at the end. So I want to use that. I'm going to use the matte one. There's 2 royal blues in here. One is a little more shimmery and one is a little more matte. Always tap your brush like this when you're going in, and then once you get started, I'm actually going to start off on the ends of my eye, just kind of the corners, and see how this builds up first, because sometimes you go straight in and think that it's gonna be alright, and stuff can turn out totally different than you think. You easily blend something out into your crease and warm it up or dim it down very fastly with other blending shades. Like, you can take a brown on top of that, you can take a white on top of it, and you can lighten it up in your crease. But if you go crazy on your lid, honey, it's not that easy. Like, you go crazy on your lid, you just gonna be out here with a crazy lid for a long time, basically. It's art, you know, for me, and a lot of my girls, we love it as an art form. So when something comes out, first of all, artists, you know, they have a block. Sometimes you don't necessarily have a muse. Sometimes your work isn't as easy to come by or to be what do you call it, like, motivated. Sometimes you're not inspired or motivated for something as far as your art goes, you know. Like, even with my poetry and stuff, you know, it's times it can go months without writing something because I'm not necessarily inspired or uplifted by anything. So sometimes makeup can be like that, and it can get to where you're just, you know, doing your natural looks all the time and you get stuck in a rut. And I feel like I was definitely like that. And, you know, I thought that it was just because I was getting mature. You know, I was like, oh, I'm mature now and I don't like colors. But when this came out, I was just so excited to play with it. And I was like, oh, this makes me want to play makeup again. And so what I'm doing right now, I'm putting this lime green color right up in here because we're actually going to be blending it out. But I'm patting it in first so I can really deposit that color. And that's another trick with these type of pigments. When it's a matte shade, sometimes you do need to pat it first and then go back and blend it in. And especially when it's light, something like this is a very gradual light shade. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go back in with the brush we used for the blue, and blending that green out. And this brush is actually kind of a better choice anyway because I can blend the green and the blue at the same time, back and forth. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And that blue, because now you have the green there, the blue is going to pop even more. What are your options? It's green on the outer 2/3, so like here, all around. And then what I'm going to do is go brighter in that center part. There's always a lot of blending and figuring things out, so it's not perfect for a while. You just need to have patience. It's a process though, so you can't constantly say like, oh no, that's too bright, that's too this, you know, that color is too smoky, it's too dark. It's a process, so you just gotta let people do it. You know, if they're professional, then they'll know how to make it work. If they're not a professional, you gotta do your homework before you find an artist, you know. So you can see that green on top of that blue is popping. It's popping. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm actually gonna use the same flat brush because this flat brush is awesome for picking up and depositing the color. And on that middle part there, I have a couple of choices. But this green, we'll try this one out. This one is almost like a mermaidy green. It has kind of a white base, but then it also just has a really pretty green shimmer to it, like a duochrome. Just what you have to do to keep that lighter center. You might put the color down, the lighter one, and then go back in with the darker one to shape it. Because you know what you want to do. You want to keep that inner part light, and you want to keep the outer parts deeper so that it really stands out on your eye. So now I'm going back in with the lighter one, making it more intense. This is not an everyday easy eyeshadow look. Girls want to have fun. Now I'm going up in here with my transition shade, the brush I used, but I didn't put any more shadow on it. I'm just blending it out really good. Okay, so that's the foreshadow. I'm done with that for the moment. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and just tighten up my under eyes. I'm gonna do a stick foundation today. Probably two, because this one with just a Lancome 24-hour foundation, which I love, but I don't know, right now I'm like really yellow, and this one is a neutral, so it's alright, but it's also a little too pinky in certain areas. So I'm going to go around the outer points with the Hourglass stick foundation, which is a lot warmer and give me a lot more of that, you know, tone I need. And then I'm going to blend it out with a very good dense foundation brush, which I just had to wipe off because she was a little dirty. Go in with that. And really with foundation, especially stick foundation, you don't want to be gentle. Like if you're gentle, you're going to be like blending it out all of your life. So you really want to buff it in. See, that foundation is really great coverage. Use some concealer. I'm using the one from Lancome also. It's a 24-hour concealer and it's greatness. Sometimes I do use a sponge, sometimes I use a brush. Today I'm going to use a brush to apply it. And I'm going to just get right up in this corner of my eye. I'm trying to get a good angle so you can kind of really see what's going on here, which I think I've kind of done. Go down the nose. This will shape your nose. You see it? I feel like sometimes around your mouth, that's how you'll end up with creases and stuff. You have too much product like built up, so I try not to put too much product there, but if it gets out of hand. Also, I have moles. I have a mole up here, and I kind of like it to be out. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll remove my makeup from there, because it just looks like a tint of something, and then it's like, what is that? You know, and then people are like, oh, let me get this off your face. And it's like, no, that's a mole, ma'am. I actually go on top of that with my foundation brush and just really pressing the concealer in. This is a yellow powder I'm using, so I'm really going to use this mostly under my eyes, and then I'll use a face powder for the rest. And I'm also putting some underneath my contour area. I haven't contoured my face yet, but that's where it will go. This is going to be under your contour. This is Micro Smooth powder, and it's literally like a baked mineral powder from Sephora collection, of course, because those are my babies. Literally just smooths out your skin, gives you such pretty coverage. It can be used by itself as a foundation, but I use it a lot of times to set my foundation. Sometimes I will use it by itself as well. So we're gonna go in with our colors again and blend some things out. I think I'm gonna go in with that green color, this one. Making silly faces because that's what we do. And I'm also gonna take some of that blue and put that out here, because we did use it on the outer corners, so this is just really gonna bring it all together. Transition shade brush just to blend that and make sure it's all playing well together. Pretty blue teal color on that lash line. So I'm gonna use my Bobbi Brown as my contour, and then this is like a NARS brush that's made for contouring, and I'm literally taking that right up under my cheekbone. My hair looks crazy. So right up under my cheekbone. I will take it right in front of my ear and right up under here. That's how you slim the face a little bit more, giving that pop. It's like, hey. So this side, right up underneath the cheekbone. And then in front of my ear to create that dimension. And then right up under. Nose. I like to do a little bit of a nose shading, but not a lot, because I don't care for that really skinny nose. But I do believe in putting a little shading there, because if you don't, it'll make the rest of your face look really crazy, you know? It's like, oh wow, she contoured to the gods, and then she just left her nose, just your center of your face is just super bare, you know? Now I'm doing my head, my forehead, my 5-head contouring. Really just to make any face shape look more oval. More oval. So, I mean, my face is almost like a round or like a heart almost. It has a lot of different shapes in it. It could easily be a heart, and then it could be kind of round. So I kind of take out some of my roundness in here, and then up here I kind of bring my forehead down to bring it more into the center. Sometimes you gotta go back in and check them brows out. Just make sure everything is still, you know, symmetrical and cool. That one has a crazy hair on it, but yeah. For For my blush though, I'm gonna do a very natural pink color, and this is from Makeup Forever. It's a part of their new like blush and highlights, and I freaking think they're a mess. And for me, I have a lot of cheek, so I will go crazy with blush. You know, I've contoured here. I'm putting that blush like on top of the contour and blending it backwards because it shapes the face. Guys, and my blush and my contour, they're all going up. So it's like lifting the face. And for highlighter, this is where it's gonna be the highest part of your cheek that the light would probably hit. And Makeup Forever has some pretty highlighters before this as well, that I always love to wear. So I'll show you kind of that one on top of this one. And then you can also put a little bit of highlight like on top of your brow bone. Like anywhere the light's gonna hit you, a little bit of highlight's fine. I like putting my highlight here on my nose. I don't really care for it on there. I want a little pop of color down there. And I'm thinking about using that really light green from the palette. So let's go ahead and use that. Yes, it just made the eyes do this really cool thing. Mascara. I don't really feel like I want to do lashes right now because I'm not always a falsies girl. I mean, I'm living for this liner and just all types of things going on in my face right now. So lips, I'm gonna do a nude. It's like a pink nude. And it's actually from Rimmel London. It's like, this lipstick makes me feel old because I've lost it before. I've repurchased it before. I've recommended it before because people be like, what do you have? I'm like, oh yeah, it's number 12. No, it's 14. This is 14, sorry. Number 14 from Rimmel London, the Kate. It's perfect. It's like a perfect new lighter one. Yeah, just like that. Do a little setting spray, like a hydrator. More the better. And then I'm gonna go ahead and do something to this hair real quick and put on like something cute and take some pictures. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a really long look, but it's really pretty. It's very festive, very like mesmerizing. So let me know what you guys think.